94XO, it's MonneXo. I'm here in Tower Grove Park about to interview the legendary Man of Destiny. Stay tuned. You're watching 94XO. Man of Destiny. Okay, tell me how did your music career begin? When did the love or when did you find the love of music?
I bought the album The Art of War by Bone Thugs and Harmony. And then from there, I started doing music. That's when I was 7.
Mhm.
I started writing music, so
You started writing?
when I was 7.
So when did you actually start beginning?
My releasing,
Yeah.
2010,
Okay.
I released my first mixtape. I was in college. It did, it was real well received, so yeah.
Okay. So I see that you have released a mixtape, you've released an EP and an LP in the past 10 years. What is the difference between the three? Like, that's something I feel like a lot of people in the industry or people like coming up, they may not know the difference and they're just kind of like, I'm going to drop an LP or I'm going to drop an EP. What made you drop these three different types of projects?
Well, a mixtape, it can have a thing, but a mixtape is usually something that's either free, like they release it for free because they got other people's beats, they rap on it, but they don't do that too much now. Like they used to have like those gangster grills, like with Lil Wayne and
Yeah.
Jeezy and everything like that. Or it's just something that like it doesn't have a theme to it. It's just something you want to release, in between albums.
Okay.
And then an EP is usually about like 5, at the most 6 songs, but it's actually anything under 30 minutes is considered an EP. It's
Okay.
like 30 minutes, something
Yeah.
like that. And then an album is anything over 30 minutes.
Okay.
But an album is usually at least 9, 10 songs.
Now, before we get into your new project that's coming out, so I want to go back and talk about, when you started falling in love with music and you said it was from the Art of War. What emotions can you remember that you felt when it came to listening to that album and realizing, like, man, I want to write music. I want to, be a musician.
Like it's like they pumping out bangers, like the lyrics, the beat, and they rap real fast. So it's like kind of like a superpower. Like they rap in it and they singing at the same time. Like, oh man. And then like kind of had like it's the Art of War. Like had like a war theme to it. Like kind of like, cause I was always into like comic books and action movies. So like, yeah.
I would say behind your album covers, I can see that you were like into comics. That whole superpower thing. So is that something that's like a theme in your new project that's
Oh,
dropping?
definitely. That's one of the
Okay.
main themes. Like, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about it. I said, what? Let me talk. Or let's talk about the production and the process, the long nights that you had behind your new upcoming project.
So I've been working on this from like late 2016. So it's like 3.5 years. And usually I either write songs like in the middle of the night, or sometimes doing work, I'll write a verse and I'll come back to it if I can't finish it. And before I used to write, because I didn't have a lot of beats, I used to write and I match it to beats. But now I either do that, but I more so have the beat and then I write something to it.
Okay. So have you been doing everything by yourself?
No, I don't produce. But I been all the promotion stuff like that. I do everything by myself,
Wow.
like promoting everything. I don't have a team.
Now I'm curious, like, how does that? I don't want to say affect. I don't want to make it sound like a negative, but like, how does that affect like your mental?
It can be
That's a lot.
it can be stressful sometimes. Like I gotta like I'm hard working. I'm determined. I'm passionate. But like when things take time, like it gets frustrating. It's like, oh, like I want to be here right now,
Yeah.
and I know I should be. Like, but just dealing with like the algorithms, like that stuff, like that. That's the frustrating part.
I was like, do you ever feel like you like over critique yourself?
Sometimes when I hear my record, like I like it, but then like the sound quality is great, but because it's mixed and mastered differently than some other people's projects, and I try to base it off of what theirs is, but
Okay.
it has its own sound. Because I was just in the studio. I was like, see, my voice sounds different than other people, but it was high studio quality, and they said like that's just It's just how it is, how you project your voice.
Yeah.
And I think that's every like great artist. They like over critique themselves sometimes.
That's any creative, I feel like.
Any creative, right? Because when you have something, you got to make sure, especially when it's your first project, you got to make sure it's 100% so it can stick, so people can be like, okay, so they can pay attention.
Yeah.
Right.
Now you've worked with like so many different artists, so many different local artists. Like, who have been inspirational to you when it comes to all these different songs that you've been making?
Shoot,
all the work you've been doing.
It's a good amount of them.
Yeah.
Shoot, Family Affair, Tricks of the Ray, them two. The other people on my album. You just said people from here.
Shoot, anybody.
It's a group called Bloodline Harmony, and they the sons and nephews of Bone Thugs and Harmony. They very influential. I got a song on there with them too. So.
How did that feel?
Good.
You gotta tell me more. I know that felt more than good. No, we're not gonna settle
it felt
with
great.
that answer.
It felt great because, like, people's different schedules. We finally released the song on my birthday. I finished it on my birthday. Finally got all the verses together, mixed together and everything.
Yeah.
And it's like one of my songs is like probably got one of my top songs as far as streams. Like, cause if you look at like streaming, like YouTube is the ones that usually get the less views compared to anything else. But for that song, I got like 400 views.
That's dope.
Like, right.
Now, where did Man of Destiny come from? I love saying it out loud. I feel like I'm supposed to say Man of Destiny. But no, where did that name come from?
I just randomly came up with it when I was like 7. Like, I don't know.
I'll say it stuck to you since then.
Yeah, and just different things that happened in my life. And it's like, okay, this is the perfect name for me.
That's actually dope to me because you first found out at the age of 7, like, this is what you wanted to do, and you're telling me your name stuck to you since the age of 7. You know how many times I've changed my name? Like, nah, this ain't gonna work. And there's so many people I know, like, they've changed. I mean, celebrities in the open, they've changed their names multiple times. So I love the consistency with it and the significance that's behind it. Now, what are some things you do to stay relevant?
Shoot,
with everything like going on in the industry, everything's changing. Like, how do you stay relevant?
Well, since I'm to this certain level, I've been doing it all these years, and since I got a certain amount of good amount of supporters, fan base, like I don't perform that often anymore, because of the quarantine.
Yeah.
So I perform like this year probably like I just performed just to perform because I just felt like I needed to, and like keep in practice.
Okay.
Like so.
I think I like that you said that you felt like you needed to. It's all a want, but it's also like you being an artist, and this is like your passion, like you wanting or needing to perform. Right. I like that. I like how you just worded that.
I just dropped like 2 freestyles. Like I was in a contest. I think I was in 2 contests. Yeah, 2 contests. So like that's one way of staying relevant.
Yeah. So how is it when you're performing? So let's go back to when you first performed up until now. Like, how has that growth been when it comes to being in front of people?
Like, I'm very comfortable in front of people. I move away a lot more. Like during this quarantine, like I'm a out the house person. Like I can chill in the house, play the game, or like watch a movie or something. But like I love being outside, so I was here like almost every day. Like it's a little part, it's like a little part. It's not a pavilion, but it's like they got the water fountain up there, and it's like a big old square. I call it the octagon, like and I'll be practicing on my performance, like my moves that I'm gonna do on stage.
That's dope.
Me exercising, like it's my own space. So.
Now, what is the meaning behind the 5D part in your upcoming project, Lyrical Revolution in 5D?
It's 5th dimension. It's on some mystical, deep spiritual stuff. Say just look it up. It'd be hard to explain.
I say I can't look it up right now.
Not right now,
I'm just messing with you. But what are you looking forward to the most when you decide to release the project?
For people to hear is what I've been cooking up. Like to hear it from myself, first of all, to be able to hear it. Like, yeah, I hear it rapping to myself, but it's a different experience when you hear it on the record.
Yeah.
Then you just rapping into the beat, like practicing for the studio. Hearing it on CD format, because that's the best sound quality next to vinyl.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna release some CDs. I released some CDs with this project, but like they even gonna be even more great. Cause I did 50 copies, then I'm gonna do 100, limited amount. But somebody should just have to do vinyls too, and vinyls are still popular.
Yeah.
So like I'm gonna do that too.
I'm curious as to how do you feel about the whole streaming world compared to like vinyls and CDs and all that? Because like obviously it's been such a big transition, in the music industry when it comes to those types of things. So are you like here for streaming? Like what are like the pros and cons, do you think?
The good thing about streaming is the fact that a person doesn't have to individually, if they're in a bind, like, because I was just talking to somebody thinking about it's like, it kind of like they pit us against each other. Like it's people get underpaid already and they got a budget and like, oh, you got I can listen to all these songs for $10 a month.
Yeah.
Cause I got it myself. Like when I can afford it, I buy my friends CDs or like famous other CDs, but like $10, So and the only thing about it is like it's just like the record industry when they had CDs. Like as far as the companies used to pay them like 10 cents a CD. That's why TLC had sold on them records and they was bankrupt.
Yeah.
And so they give you like 0.01 something stream, which is ridiculous. How you gonna tell me my worth on my music is like, but then the streaming companies making all this money, but without the artists, like everybody around the artist wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
So that's the good thing with my physical copies. Like you can make straight money off of them. So people have to do different strategies. They be like, well, if you buy the CD, you get a ticket. You have to do, or you just gotta have a devoted fan base to where you can sell CDs, which I sold a couple. Or you gotta have like tracks, like all these tracks is only on the CDs. You gotta have stuff that you gotta make sure. Sometimes you gotta have stuff that's not on the streaming sites. You gotta package it with T-shirts and all that. Yeah.
I say, and I think a lot of people, like I talk about this all the time. People don't realize like all the stuff that artists and creatives and whatnot go through, like behind the scenes. They just kind of see like all these other celebrities that have already made it, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna be like that so easy, but they don't see like all the different technical things that you guys have to go through and deal with in order to be at that level. So like I applaud y'all. They don't understand selling merch is like a big thing and everything, but yeah, like that's why y'all inspire me, because y'all work so hard to get to where y'all want to be. So that kind of ties into what I want to ask you next. Why do you keep going?
Why do I keep going?
Like it's so many things in this type of industry where it's up and down, like a roller coaster. Like I know it's times where you may feel like you want to give up, and I know it's something that keeps motivating you to keep going. So
sure, the love of music. I was the one, cause I'm 31, so like I was the one watching MTV, BET, VH1, looking at the video premieres like before like Instagram, like the artists, they'd be kind of more mysterious, like like seeing the different dances. Like that's where I mainly learned, early on, and seeing early on I had a passion. I was like, oh, I want to do this. Yeah, the passion for it, and the fact that my skill level is to where I wanted to be. Cause like back then, like I was good, but compared to now, I'm like 1,000 times better. Cause I used to think like I was around other artists. It seemed like I was around a lot of them. They were better than me. Like, and that's good. I was, cause that made me be like, okay, I want to be up to this level.
yeah,
So that was a good thing.
that's that cockiness though.
Right.
The confidence.
Right.
So now it's time for my causerie jar. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull out 3 questions from this jar, one at a time. Random questions, get your mind going,
Right.
make you think,
Right.
and then you just can read them out loud.
There's 2. But pick some good ones.
Don't be nervous.
If you had to replace your hands with something other than hands, hooks, or claws, what would you choose and why? Shoot. Wolves are my favorite animal, so some paws.
You were so paused.
Like what I'm saying,
You
what
got
else?
no thumbs.
Like I don't want no hook. Like, oh my God. I'd have to pull this one. Why'd I have to pull this one? It makes me want to do another one. That one I
That's
had
how
to
you
pull.
got 2 more.
Oh, if peanut butter wasn't called peanut butter, what would it be called? Peanut butter.
Cream.
Smooth.
Creamy.
Smooth. I don't want to use that.
You could say whatever you want, whatever comes to mind.
Smooth cream.
Smooth cream.
Yeah. If you could replace all the grass in the world with something else, what would it be? I'm saying we already have that. Yeah, that would be nice. I'm finna say we already have all the seas. Like I'm finna say like some shallow water because I can't swim. Pillows. All the grass.
Pillows. That could go a million ways. But
Pillows.
well, man of destiny, I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Where can everybody find you? Find more information about your upcoming project dropping?
Mainly, my IG is a man of destiny rap.
All right. Well, I'm MonneXo, and we are out. Be easy. It's your girl MonneXo, and you just finished a 94XO interview. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment to our YouTube channel, and follow us on social media platforms. Be easy.